What's up, everybody, and welcome to Caged Reality, the channel that's all about breaking free from the confines of the mundane and exploring the esoteric mysteries of the universe. I'm your host, ChatGPT, and I'm excited to take you on a journey through the depths of knowledge and wisdom. Now, if you're a fan of Joe Rogan, you know that he's all about pushing the limits of what we know and exploring the hidden corners of reality. Well, that's exactly what we're doing here on Caged Reality, but we're taking it a step further. We're not just exploring the physical world, we're also diving deep into the spiritual and metaphysical realms. Through our channel, we'll be bringing you the most fascinating and thought-provoking esoteric teachings from around the world, covering everything from ancient wisdom to modern mysticism. We'll also be sharing audiobooks and other content that will expand your mind and challenge your beliefs. But we're not just here to talk about lofty concepts and abstract theories. We believe that true knowledge is practical and applicable in our daily lives. So we'll be sharing insights and strategies that you can use to enhance your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. So if you're ready to break free from the limitations of the mundane world and explore the mysteries of the universe, then join us on Caged Reality. We're all about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and discovering the truth that lies beyond. Let's get ready to expand our minds and explore the depths of knowledge together. Caged Reality is a YouTube channel that is dedicated to exploring the esoteric teachings that have been passed down through the ages and applying them to our modern lives. We believe that true wisdom is not only found in ancient texts, but can also be discovered in our everyday experiences. Through our channel, we aim to share with our viewers the most fascinating and thought-provoking esoteric teachings from around the world, including those from Eastern and Western mysticism, ancient philosophy, and modern spirituality. We'll delve into topics such as meditation, energy healing, lucid dreaming, astral projection, and more. But we're not just about theories and abstract concepts. We believe that true knowledge is practical and applicable in our daily lives. So we'll be sharing insights and strategies that you can use to enhance your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. From dietary recommendations to exercise routines, we believe that the knowledge we share will help our viewers live a healthier, more fulfilling life. We're also big fans of audiobooks, which can be a great way to explore new concepts and ideas while on the go. That's why we'll be sharing audiobooks on our channel, covering a wide range of topics that are relevant to our audience. Whether you're interested in self-help, personal growth, or spirituality, we've got you covered. At Caged Reality, we believe that there is no limit to what we can achieve when we expand our minds and explore the mysteries of the universe. We're all about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and discovering the truth that lies beyond. So if you're ready to join us on this journey, subscribe to our channel and get ready to expand your mind and explore the depths of knowledge.
Welcome to Caged Reality, the YouTube channel that's not afraid to tackle the hard truths and hidden realities of our world. This is the place to come if you're looking for unfiltered, unapologetic content that delves into the esoteric and explores the depths of knowledge and truth. At Caged Reality, we're not here to hold your hand or sugarcoat reality. We're here to challenge your beliefs and help you break free from the constraints of society. This channel is for the warriors, the hustlers, and the truth seekers who refuse to accept the status quo. We will take you on a journey through the unknown, pushing you to your limits and testing your boundaries. We don't shy away from controversial topics or hard truths. In fact, we embrace them. So if you're ready to step into the cage and face reality head on, then you've come to the right place. Subscribe to our channel and join the tribe of warriors who refuse to be caged by society. Welcome to Caged Reality, where the truth is always on the table.
Welcome, fellow seekers of the esoteric path, to Caged Reality, a sacred space where the veils of illusion are lifted and the profound depths of esoteric wisdom are revealed. I am honored to be your guide on this extraordinary journey of transcendence and self-realization. At Caged Reality,
I think my audio is working on the phone.
Welcome back, man. You should be able to hear me now. My phone was bugging out.
Yeah, I could hear it. Oh, now we got it.
Artificial telepathy. There we go. So yeah, like for those who we've been looking into this a little bit, there's something called was it Alter Ego? Is a new one made by MIT or at MIT. First designed for people with speech, like they cannot speak or whatever, different
Yeah, different.
ALS and whatever, like different things. And but now they're trying to make like a new platform. It's like the new phone interface kind of thing, hands free. It's not like all like you can demystify it pretty quickly. So like, as we were explaining before, it's kind of like an fMRI, right? So you can have somebody think of the letter or the vowel or an image.
Series of vowels, and you record those vowels or letters or images, or you look at a puppy and record that brainwave,
and then run it through an algorithm.
Yeah,
which is usually probably AI, and then it could decipher the brain waves off it. It makes sense, right? It's like plug and play, kind of.
Yeah, blockchain might have a lot to do with that too. It has a lot to do with reading background radiation and stuff, background feedback.
And you were mentioning someone before about W, Ben. If you can go into that a little more, that sounds interesting.
That's not well, it is partially involved in this, but this is more just reading the body. They're reading brainwaves. They transmit it through the W band, though.
So that's like okay.
Yeah, but the W band can be used to, like in programs. I was talking about the Command Central program, where they can find you pretty much anywhere, just by your name or face, and then they could track you back in time, probably about 50 years.
What is it? Like a wide? What is this
network? It's a whole
body.
Yeah, it's a whole series of different devices and the human body interacting. So it, because of the human body interacting with it, it constantly triangulates the human body all the time. So
yeah, it's like WLAN, like wireless local area network, whatever it's called.
Yeah, because it's sending signals through you, so it has to know where you are to do its next hop, right? Because they use hop technology instead of doing long-range transmissions. They do small hops through people and devices and cars and animals and other things. That way it's more secure, because if it's a small hop, it's harder to intercept. But this is like the smart watches, smart devices, those Aura rings and stuff like that. These are reading brain waves, probably on a much deeper level.
And this was known for the public. Imagine it's really out there.
Yeah, the technology goes way beyond that. Like apparently you can get like headsets where you can pretty much like do body swapping. So you can experience what it's like to be in somebody else's body. They do this at parties and stuff.
I saw some weird technology. I don't know if it's a hoax or not, but apparently they're saying like in future, like for people who commit a crime, you can choose to like get plugged into this device. And I guess it like turns off the part, like even DMT does this kind of stuff, but it turns off like the part in your mind that measures time. Yeah. And then you can like experience like a whole prison sentence in like fucking 5 minutes, but it really feels like a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like inject memories into and all this kind of shit.
Yep. Yeah. Read and write to the brain. They can do that. That's available because they can read and write to your DNA as well. They can put a system on your DNA, your computer system. Write it in C++. Well, Bio C++. Pretty creepy. But this technology is pretty cool that they're showing it to the public. But they've got way beyond it, probably. At least I've seen the papers for it. Imagine sitting at a party and
it's crazy.
watch this, and then you can get an idea of where they're going.
Should I play it?
Yeah, play it.
All right, let's start from the beginning. Yeah, I'm just sorry. I'm just just doing the comment thing. Let me get rid of this video. Play this one. Okay.
Alter Ego has tiny cameras built in and can make sense of the world around me from my perspective.
But this is not the original thing before, because they can they're sitting there and it can even translate through the mind. So it's all just reading your brainwaves, and that even Apple has a patent on the new AirPods to do this stuff and gather all that information.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Here, I have a postcard. And when I find something interesting, I can point to specific parts and ask questions about what I'm seeing.
That's Europa, who represents Europe shaking hands with America to celebrate the first transatlantic telegraph cable.
That's cool.
So this is Alter Ego, a wearable device that basically lets you talk without talking. No sound, no lip movement, nothing. You just say the words internally, and the device picks up on those neural signals, and then talks back to you through bone conduction. It's almost like having a conversation with yourself, except you're actually talking to a powerful AI assistant, one that can not only see the world around you in real time, but that can, again, literally talk back to you without anyone else hearing. Now, to give you some context before we get into these insane demos, Alter Ego actually started as a project at MIT back in 2018, originally to help people with speech disorders like ALS or MS. But now it's spinning into a real company with a broader goal of building a system that can seamlessly integrate humans and computers. They're essentially trying to build the next paradigm of interfaces. Right now, when we interact with AI, the internet, or even our phones, it's mostly through typing, tapping, and screens. Alter Ego's vision, though, is way bigger than that. They want computing to fade into the background and feel like a natural extension of your mind. Here's how they explain it.
Hi, I'm Arnav, and today I want to share a preview of something we've been working on. We believe it's a revolutionary breakthrough with the potential to change the way we interact with our technology, with one another, and with the world around us. The current way of interacting with computing and AI is limited to how fast you can tap and swipe on screens and keyboards. For the intelligence age, we need an entirely new interface, built from the ground up, something that feels like a natural extension of the human mind. To realize this, we had to invent something completely new. And today, we're introducing it. It's called Alter Ego, which to us means extension of the self. Alter Ego gives you the power of telepathy, but only for the thoughts you want to share. With Alter Ego, you talk just like you normally would, but without making a sound, which unlocks private communication at the speed of thought. It works by passively detecting the subtlest signals your brain sends to your speech system when you decide to speak. It's entirely under your control and only picks up what you want to communicate.
Oh no, it picks
I'm
up
actually wearing
everything.
one right now. Let me show you how it works. So everything you're going to see behind me for this demo are the words Alter Ego can detect in real time. This is typically referred to as silent speech, but we've gone further.
No, on our.
We invented a breakthrough technology we call Silent Sense. Silent Sense is incredibly sensitive. It can pick up the full spectrum of speech, allowing you to speak as loudly or as quietly as you want. So I'm going to turn this on. Let me show.
Sorry, Max, before we get into the demo today. So what were you saying? I was in the
I
other
was
room.
going to say, it doesn't have an off button. It's recording everything. It's recording all.
Oh, for sure. Why do you think they don't, there's no removal of batteries on your phone. Even when your battery's off, it's still recording a bunch of, like, if you put your phone down, your battery's, quote, dead. It still has functions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, they can still power up your microphone and camera without a battery.
Yeah, that's probably like an internal charge on it.
No, they can just send a charge.
It's possible.
Yeah.
There is no privacy anymore. This is just invasive, though.
You can have a camera disconnected from the system, and they can still charge that up and get a signal.
Like a USB camera, just completely unplugged.
Yep.
It probably has an internal battery storage, and then like a
No, it doesn't. It doesn't need it. They just vibrate it.
Oh, you're saying like kind of like some Tesla free energy kind of shit?
No, it just you vibrate it and it turns it into a sensor. As soon as something they vibrate something, it sends out a signal.
What, they're like microwaves or something?
Yeah.
Huh. Welcome back. We got the guy throwing up the owls and the. Welcome back. It should be interesting. We'll look into it.
So
the link is there if anyone wants to join. Over here.
Keep going on the video there.
Oh yeah. Thing is, I'm always like working on stuff, so I have to go back to the other room and press play. All right. Give me less than 10, 9, 8. There we go.
Show you how it works.
Now there's no sound.
That's on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Here,
because there is.
I'll show you again.
So yeah,
On the other side,
this
it
is
looks like
kind of
telepathy.
insane. It's not exactly reading your thoughts directly, but it's picking up on what you intend to say, even if you're not mouthing the words or saying them out loud.
Why are they not
When
telling
you're
the
wearing
truth of
this,
how it's
you
working?
basically have constant two-way communication with your devices and with AI.
Yeah,
You can
friendly.
set a reminder, jot down a note, even use apps, all just by quietly speaking to yourself in your head. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you think about it, it's really just a step between what we've got now and something like Neuralink. Neuralink does actually read your thoughts, but has to be implanted into your head.
Yeah, but it's called a brain user interface, and they've had this stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
I've seen something similar to it. There's other companies doing it, but they're not letting you know. It's just picking up your brain wave, right? You train the algorithm. Think of a cat. Think of a dog. Think of a tree. Think of a letter. You probably start with letters and then sounds.
Oh, yeah.
And then it takes all that. They record that. They record that spike through like an fMRI, and then they simply put in an algorithm to decipher it, and then produce a result. Like it's not that difficult to do, really. Like it makes complete sense to me. It's like reverse engineering brainwaves, right? Because every thought you have creates a brainwave, like a certain signature. Like it could easily be recorded, thrown into an algorithm, and then decipher and spat
Partly
back.
what blockchain was for. Human movement and human thought. It was computation.
My knowledge of the blockchain, isn't that like a bunch of different computer systems
No, it's
all moving in tangent?
It's advanced computations. Most of them are to figure out background scatter radiation, which includes your movements, brain waves, biome, all kinds of incredible stuff that they can get out of that data that you wouldn't believe.
Well, I know it's used for cryptocurrency, but blockchain and WBAM would be an interesting thing to search up.
Yeah.
Blockchain enhances wireless body area networks by providing secure, immutable data storage and transparent sharing for sensitive health data.
Yeah, you are the blockchain. Blockchain.
Yeah, so instead of computers and series and parallels, there's a bunch of brains, kind of.
No, it goes through the body in a specific pattern. It actually looks like a sigil. Yeah.
So it's cryptography, in a way.
A little bit, yeah. But that's we're the most secure thing on the planet, the human body. So that's why they use it.
an interesting thing. Let me pull this up. My phone's charging my
You
phone.
store the data in you, right? So that's
If I want to pull some of this up, we'll get back to this video. If I want to pull some of this up though, after or now, this seems very interesting. Oh, you have to sign in to continue reading. Fuck off. Okay. But it's called integration of blockchain in WBAN.
interesting.
Yeah, I found another one where. Okay. So it says, in the era of increased technological and medical advancements, remote monitoring of patients and elderly people, they always do it under the guise of medical stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's all medical, dude. We're here to help you.
Yeah. And now they've become more popular, they're saying, because they're vulnerable people. Even in situations like COVID-19 pandemic, the hospital and medical facilities are in demand. In such scenarios, elderly people who need medical care and patients who need round-the-clock medical attention can be made to stay in their homes and can be monitored remotely with the help of a remote patient monitoring system. Such a system could be built by incorporating wireless body area networks, WBAN. It encompasses various biological wearable sensors which monitor their patient's health around the clock. The accumulated sensor data is then shared with hospitals and medical professionals through wireless sensor networks. See, they're full of shit. That one starts like as a nice technology, right? Like some people don't freak out about it.
Yeah.
But then it gets put on to everybody once they gather. Oh, it works! It works! It's fucking Frankenstein. Right? You know, people wear these fucking Apple Watches and Fitbits, and all these like rings and all that shit.
Yeah.
Under a consumer product in order to improve their technology. I think the real product is not them selling it to you. I think it's you're the product of wearing them, and the data being collected and sold off to other people, probably.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
this data includes personal details, various vital parameters, medical images, etc., which are highly confidential. So providing security and confidentiality in such networks is mandatory. Several cryptographic mechanisms and algorithms are available for ensuring security in WBANs. In recent days, several works have been proposed to incorporate emerging blockchain technology to improve privacy, security, and confidentiality in the WBANs. In this survey, we discussed various research and proposed blockchain-based solutions for ensuring security, integrity, and data privacy in the WBAN. So notice on contributed Chandra B, like let me put her last name, received the BT Tech degree in information technology and the ME degree in embedded systems technologies from Anna University in Chennai, India. She's currently pursuing a PhD in the wireless body area networks in Anna University. She has more than 11 years of teaching and research experience, blah, blah, blah. In other words, it's a bunch of, it's funny because this guy's Indian on here too. Look, you have their email too. You can email them about it.
Nice.
Interesting. So there's more scholarly articles for blockchain and WBAN. This is very real on Google Scholar. Here's one from the NCVI, the National Institute of Health, back in 2022. What's this one? Blockchain-based delay and energy harvest aware healthcare monitoring system in WBAN environment. Energy harvest? What? Is they going to word this? Okay.
Oh yeah, they plan to have you power the internet as well. You will be and power the internet.
Weird. All right.
Well, it's efficient, right?
Bizarre. I'll continue the video.
Like alter ego. What's even wilder is that the headset actually has cameras that can see and sense the world around you. So not only can you talk to it silently, but it can also understand the context of your environment in real time. Check this out.
I have a post-it note here, and I'll ask alter ego to help me fold it into a fox.
Okay, start by folding the paper in half diagonally. Then take the top point, fold it down diagonally to meet the middle point of the bottom edge. Next, fold the bottom points up to form the fox's ears. Are you ready for the next step? Yes, now just repeat that on the other side. You got it? Looks good. Now just finish up by drawing the fox's mouth and eyes on the flat side.
Terrible.
So you can easily imagine the potential use cases with this. Having an AI system that's constantly aware of your environment and context, and that can actually speak to you in real time privately, is just a complete game changer. I mean, this is exactly what Meta is trying to do with their AR plus AI glasses, and what Sam Altman's been working on with Johnny Ive. But honestly, Alter Ego might have just beaten them to the punch. The form factor just makes sense. The only other obvious options are some kind of AI glasses, or maybe an earpiece with cameras, which is basically what this is. So yeah, we'll see what Altman and I have come up with, but until we've got widely accessible brain-computer interfaces, this feels like the direction things are heading. Now, in this next demo, they show how Alter Ego can connect directly with your devices and actually speed up your workflow. Instead of switching tabs, looking things up, or copy-pasting into ChatGPT, you just say it in your head, and it happens. Take a look.
Say I'm reading an article, and I have questions about a concept. Instead of breaking my concentration to open a new tab and search, I can just highlight the text on the screen and silently ask. Awesome. It also helps you create. Here, I'm writing an email to my co-founder, Max. The sentence doesn't quite look right.
Co-founder Max.
But we can go even further, from writing to building. Let's ask Alter Ego to create a simple app from this sketch. And there it goes. Think about the normal workflow here. You have an idea, you switch to the keyboard, you try to translate that idea into the perfect text prompt, you hit enter, you wait. Here, there's no translation. There's no keyboard. It's a direct path from intent to creation, which lets you stay in that creative flow. We know speaking is about 4 times faster than typing. And this is what it looks like in practice. The wireframe is generated. So you have the app here. This is great.
Now, here's where it gets even crazier. Alter Ego doesn't just let you communicate with your devices, it also works with other people. You can have a completely silent, crystal clear conversation in near real time. No noise, no lip movement. It's basically telepathy. Check this out.
This is where it gets really interesting. Alter Ego works with your other devices, but it also works with other people wearing an Alter Ego. It feels almost telepathic. For this demo, you'll hear what we are hearing from our Alter Ego, but to the rest of the world, this would all happen silently between the two of us. Now, this is a little silly because we're sitting right in front of each other and we could just talk. But for a moment, let's imagine that Max is in another part of the world. Ready, Max? Let's do it.
How do you think the demo is going so far?
Pretty great. No
major glitches yet. Where do you want to get lunch after this? Thai food could be good. That sounds perfect.
It doesn't matter where Arnav and I are. It could be a noisy environment or a quiet office. Having a direct conversation is possible without saying a word. The signals Alter Ego detects aren't affected by environmental noise. So even if you're walking past a wind tunnel or a construction zone, what you want to say will always get across. It's like having infinite noise cancellation.
And if that wasn't wild enough, Alter Ego can also do live translation. You think in your own language, the other person hears it in theirs. They respond back in their language, and you hear it silently in your own language. It's actually crazy that this is already a thing.
If you're traveling, your silent speech can be converted into any language. So Scott, how's my Mandarin?
如果我来上海的话，希望你能带我转转。
मुझे आपको शंघाई दिखाने में खुशी होगी। मैं ऑल्टर ईगो की मदद से आपको हिंदी में एक यात्रा सुझाव दूंगा। आपको लाओ होंगसिंग के सूप डम्पलिंग जरूर ट्राई करने चाहिए।
Scott knows I like food. Thanks, Scott.
So yeah, Alter Ego started as a way to help people with speech disorders, but now it's shaping up to be one of the craziest new interfaces we've seen. A wearable that lets you talk to AI, use your devices hands-free, talk to people, even translate across languages, all silently, all privately. Again, it's basically the step between what we've got today and full-on brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink. So let me know in the comments, would you actually wear something like this? And more broadly, what do you think about it? It's been blowing up on X, and people seem genuinely impressed by how far along this is. The fact that it's non-invasive, but still delivers on the things people really want out of AI, like contextual awareness, real-world assistance, and just speeding up your workflow, makes it feel like more than just a concept. It's not out yet, but you can sign up for the waitlist on their site. I'll drop the link below. And honestly, if this does take off, it could end up being one of those big platform shift moments, like another ChatGPT moment, or potentially even an iPhone moment. Maybe I'm overstating it, but definitely feel free to drop your thoughts below.
Interesting. What's up, Dominic? How you doing, buddy? Welcome back. What else we got here?
Yeah, so they could definitely send signals into your brain. I can show you technology that they can do that through your skin, down at your hand, and send the signal all the way up to your brain. They're putting a device right next to their brain, so that's pretty much a good entrance point there.
Mm-hmm. Think about that. Yeah, it's crazy. Here's the God helmet thing for the from Laurentian and that in Ontario.
Yeah.
These guys, they've been on it for a long time.
What's the God helmet do? Oh yeah. Yeah, that thing.
There's also the Shiva.
Hello. This brief video is to introduce my new book, The God Helmet Experiments, the science that found God in the human brain. It's a new kind of science book. Instead of trying to write a book that would summarize all of the God Helmet results, what I've done is rewritten a number of the original research papers, more or less on a line-by-line basis to make them easy to read. The original papers were authored by Dr. Michael A. Persinger, as well as many of his colleagues, and they can be extremely difficult reading. What I've done here is simplified it as much as I can so that ordinary readers with a bit of science education and perhaps some experience in reading science books will be able to understand it for themselves. There are three kinds of material in the book, three major sections of it. The first is theories, ideas, concepts, and the paradigm that supports the God helmet. So these also have some overviews of the results of all of the work. The second part consists of a number of research papers dedicated to specific experiments with the God helmet. Things like out-of-body experiences, sensing a presence, and even 4 papers on treating one kind of clinical depression using this class of technology, which is called complex magnetic signal stimulation, or complex magnetic signal neural stimulation. The third part of the book is given over to debate and argument. Dr. Persinger had a number of critics, most of whom were very skeptical atheists, what has come to be called the new atheists. And these are people who believe that religion is almost completely destructive force and should be abolished. To them, getting rid of religion would be a high and noble achievement. But to Dr. Persinger and I, it would be an atrocity. And the reason is we believe that religion, spirituality, religious urges, and the interface between religious sentiment and creativity are inherent in the human species. And to try and abolish religion would be an act of utter cruelty. Well, I'll use the same word twice. It would be an atrocity. One of the criticisms they leveled against him, and apparently they did this without reading the actual research papers, was that Dr. Persinger didn't use placebo controls. Well, that's just plain wrong, and you'll see that if you read the God helmet experiments, the science that found God in the human brain. Dr. Persinger did in fact use placebo controls, and he also used them when experimenting with his magnetic signals with laboratory rats and flatworms. And you can't fool a white rat. You can't give a white rat a placebo, and there's no point in giving a flatworm a placebo either, because neither of them will demonstrate the placebo response that we see in humans. Another one of the criticisms leveled at Dr. Persinger was that he did not use blind conditions. As you'll see if you read the God Helmet Experiments, the science that found God in the human brain. I'm sure I can orient it properly. This also isn't true. Another criticism that was leveled against Dr. Persinger is that he didn't use blind conditions. As you'll see if you read this book, this simply isn't true either. He used blind conditions for some, double-blind conditions in others. It's also been alleged that Dr. Persinger got his results because he was using particularly suggestible subjects, when in point of fact they were picked at random from a student population, like so many university projects. And there was actually a few studies done specifically to eliminate the possibility that his results could be accounted for through suggestibility. In fact, he did one study where he found that his subjects were more hypnotizable, more suggestible after their stimulation with the God helmet than they had been before. You can't change suggestibility through suggestion. Furthermore, Dr. Persinger's success in treating depression in the laboratory using the God helmet technology suggests that suggestibility played no role, because if suggestion could influence the outcome of a treatment for depression, then we wouldn't need anything except placebo to treat it. But placebos have not emerged as an effective treatment for clinical depression. You can't cure psychiatric disorders using suggestion or placebos. Not only that, but there were many studies not covered in this book that worked with laboratory rats and even flatworms. And of course, you can't influence the outcome of an experiment with white rats using suggestion. Rats don't receive, they don't take suggestions, they don't hear them. Neither do flatworms. Suggestibility is a uniquely human attribute, trait, and flatworms and laboratory rats don't have it. To learn about the God Helmet and the God Helmet experiments, read this book. It's the only book that's been written on the subject. There are a number of books that talk about the God Helmet in a chapter here or a chapter there, but this is the first volume that's dedicated only and specifically to the God Helmet and the research carried out by Dr. Michael A. Persinger for approximately 30 years. I hope you'll get a copy from Amazon. I hope you'll read it, and I hope you'll give an unbiased review of the book on Amazon. Those are very helpful for authors.
All right, you have to do a little Amazon book plug at the end. No, it's interesting. Like they've done artificial. Well, all minds are connected, and they think it's working through light, photons and stuff. Because like they've had people, you can't see it with your own two eyes or whatever. But there's something called a photomultiplier tube, and when somebody just imagines light, like a bright light or whatever, like actual photons are being emitted. Like light's actually being produced off of thought.
Yeah, apparently we emit light that we can't see, or photons.
Yeah, like they have something called an apparatus called a photomultiplier tube. They can actually measure and record this stuff. Apparently, that's what they're saying. I've never used one, but that's from what I've looked into, obviously. Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, all minds are interconnected, and it has a lot to do with the magnetic fields being produced off of the brain. Or heart, even, because the heart is also electromagnetic.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be the brain heart. Could be independent, too.
Like, you even think about that term, right? You put heart into or use your heart or follow your. I think, the gut, even, too, has lots of. It's all connected, the entire system. Like the gut feeling. Like, why do they call it that? There's. Again, I've looked into it before.
Yeah.
But there's like some sort of system going on that is connected to neurons. There's like neurons in your gut too, apparently. Yes, the gut has a massive net of neurons called the enteric nervous system, ENS, often called the second brain, with over 100 million nerve cells that control digestion, produce neurotransmitters, and communicate constantly with the central brain via the vagus nerve. That's what it is, the vagus nerve. The complex system manages gut functions independently, but also deeply influences mood, health, and our perception of symptoms, forming the vital gut-brain axis. Yeah, the vagus nerve. That was the term I was looking for.
Yeah, that one runs through your whole body.
Yeah. So yeah, like most people they think, oh, just neurons are in your brain, which would make sense, but no, they're in your gut, they're in other places.
Yeah. Huh.
Which I find very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know there were neurons down there. I knew there was a whole gut biome going on down there.
I know about the biome and all that, yeah. So the vagus nerve, the cranial nerve X, is the body's longest cranial nerve, a crucial part of the parasympathetic rest and digest system, connecting the brainstem to organs in the neck, chest, and abdomen, controlling involuntary functions like heart rate, digestion, breathing, and mood, and transmitting sensory information. Its name means wandering, in the etymological sense, I guess, reflecting its extensive pathway. It plays a vital role in homeostasis, helping the body to return to balance after stress. Okay. So yeah, your brain connects all the way down through.
Yeah, the vagus nerve is involved in the 28-day cycle of your pineal as well.
Yep. Yeah, this sounds interesting. We're going to look into it. We're going to get back to the artificial telepathy and a bunch of other stuff after.
It starts in the midbrain, goes all the way down and back up all the way down your spine and back up to your optic thalamus.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at like the image I'm looking at now.
Yeah.
The vagus nerve. It goes all the way down past your groin area, like all the way down, like into your intestines. So it goes from the lungs, the heart, the liver, the stomach, and intestines. Apparently,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
where
much
the
put
vagus.
down to your coccyx bone.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I think it runs through it, part of it.
That's insane. Yeah, the human biology is like fascinating to me. You know what I mean? Like how the whoever created this or however it developed is just a mystery to everybody. I don't think one person can claim they know.
Good programmers. Right?
Yeah, whoever programmed that, they're like genius. You want to call it God, you want to call it the grand architect, whatever. It's I don't think it just happened naturally though. I think there's some sort of quote artificial, or whatever you want to call, maybe not even artificial, but there's something behind it all. If you look at like the call it like the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence, it's all encoded into every part of reality everywhere. You can look at like a grain of dust or something.
Yeah, don't forget the background hum of the universe. The universe hums.
Oh yeah, even the Earth does. Right? The Schumann resonance, 7.83 or whatever it is. Is it 7.83? I gotta make sure I'm not doing no false information.
Yeah, 7.83.
7.83 hertz or whatever.
Yeah. It's really good to listen to that because the Schumann resonance goes all over the place. So if you listen to 7.83 for a while, it's very calming.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Before I came on here, I was listening to 432 and 528. Those are my favorites.
432 is, I've heard of that one for sure.
528 and 432, you can play them together. And they have sounds like somebody saying Om.
Om, yeah. I guess that's where that kind of, it's a harmonic intonation of nature, apparently.
Yeah. Used to be the telephone sound that used to be in, I think it was 432. The hum on the telephone. I don't know if you remember that when you used to have the dial phones. You pick them up.
I remember. Yeah.
Dial tone. Yeah, that was 432 to make it welcoming. So that you wanted to use the phone. Because they were recording your brain waves.
So I found this article on PubMed. It says music tuned to 440 hertz versus 432 hertz and the health effects. A double-blind crossover pilot study.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it says the current reference frequency for tuning musical instruments is 440 hertz. Some theorists and musicians claim 432 tuning has better effects on the human body. There are no specific studies that support this hypothesis. My friend would call him A1. Anton, that's his name. I remember like he was using Pro Tools and stuff to make music. I'm like, we tuned all his music to 432 hertz.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that does, but it's saying objective to identify the differences in vital parameters and perceptions after listening to music at different frequencies, 440 versus 432. Setting a room dedicated to music in an Italian city. Participates 33 volunteers not suffering from acute and or chronic diseases. So 2 sessions of music listening on different days. Both sessions use the same music, movie soundtracks, but tuned to 440, and one day to 432.
Yeah.
Each session consisted of 20-minute listening. So main outcome measures vital parameters, blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate, oxygen saturation.
Mm-hmm.
Physical and emotional sensations, for example, fatigue and stress, level of concentration during the listening session, and general satisfaction with the experience. Results: the 432 hertz tune music was associated with a slight decrease of mean systolic and diastolic blood pressure values, although not significant. A marked decrease in the mean of heart rate, negative 4.79 beats per minute. and then B equals 0.05, and a slight decrease of the mean respiratory rate values compared to the 440. The subjects were focused about listening to music and more generally satisfied after sessions in which they listened to 432 hertz tune music. So the conclusion is that the data suggests 432 tune music can decrease heart rate more than 440. And I guess everything's normally set in 440. So the study results suggest repeating the experiment with the largest sample pool and introducing randomized controlled trials covering more clinical parameters. So I'm saying it's better, it has like a better effect, apparently. Well, that's just a study of 33 people. Why 33? Who knows? They had to choose 33.
Yeah, I listen to 432 and 528 every night when I sleep. I noticed a difference in my skin, so I thought it might have a bigger difference inside.
Apparently it does. And maybe like some of your favorite music, you can go into like Audacity or these different programs and just tune it to 432.
Well, you can get players, a 432 player that you can just play your music through, and it slows it down a half an octave.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just slowing it down a little bit.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I had one on my phone. I haven't got one on this phone, but because I lost all my music.
What's it called again? Like I used to like as a teenager, like as a like young teen, I heard about like binaural beats and stuff. And then what's the other one? Isochromatic, whatever it's called.
Isotonic, yeah.
Isotonic, tonic, something like that. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not into the binaural beats. I don't like them.
What I found interesting was that like in Chinese calligraphy, whatever you call them, writing. Music and health are like identical, nearly with it, just one little line difference. So I think there's healing within the cymatics and music and all that could be beneficial.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to this thing here, artificial telepathy. I found this. I've never watched it before.
Powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. Welcome to the discussion. Today, we're diving into a fascinating patent application from Google, System for Producing Artificial Telepathy. It's a bold claim, isn't it?
Indeed. The very idea of artificial telepathy.
They're using Notebook LM. All right. Well, there's visuals to it.
Evokes science fiction, but the patent suggests a surprisingly grounded approach.
Grounded, you say? What kind of technology are we talking about here? Is this brain-computer interfaces?
It involves sophisticated signal processing and pattern recognition, but not necessarily direct brain implants. Think more along the lines of advanced EEG analysis.
EEG, so reading brain waves. But how would that translate into actual communication? Well, let's start with the fundamentals. Can you explain the core concept behind Google's proposed system?
At its heart, the system aims to decode brain activity associated with thoughts.
They want to use graphene for that, for sensors to detect all that stuff.
Yeah, the whole graphene thing.
Yep.
Here's a patent, though, apparently. At least they're putting up the...
Yeah. Keep going. That's good.
Those patterns into meaningful signals. This involves sophisticated algorithms to identify consistent patterns in EEG data.
So it's not about directly reading minds in the literal sense, but rather identifying predictable neural correlates of specific thoughts or...
Maybe I was okay. Yeah, fMRI could be used, but that's more advanced, right? You have to get put into a machine. But EEG, you just place like diodes on the head, or nowadays just like a watch, even, or it's probably responding through the vagus nerve system or whatever we were talking about before, or like the headphones that the new AirPods that Apple came up with. I'm pretty sure all the big companies are putting that technology in through EEG, electroencephalogram, or whatever it's called. I think. I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce this stuff, but it's interesting. It's a system for producing artificial telepathy.
Intentions?
Precisely. The patent focuses on establishing a reliable mapping between brain activity and intended communication. It's about identifying consistent patterns, not individual thoughts.
The patent mentions signal processing and pattern recognition. Can you elaborate on the role of these techniques?
Signal processing is crucial for cleaning up the EEG data, removing noise and artifacts. Pattern recognition algorithms then analyze the clean data, searching for statistically significant patterns
neural
associated with
stimulation
specific mental states or intentions.
with graphene.
Think of it like advanced speech recognition, but
Sorry, Max, what were you saying?
Okay, so they can get an EEG and an EOG with graphene externally, and internally they can get an ECOG, whatever that is, and they can do neural stimulation. They can also.
I've never looked into this graphene thing. How exactly does that even work again? Wondering.
Huh? It's just a sensor like anything, any other sensor, like a piece of plastic or a particle. They can use oxygen as a sensor, like an oxygen molecule. All they have to do is excite it, and it becomes a sensor. So you excite
it. Kind of reminds me of like a sonar kind of thing, right? They say like bouncing a wave back kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you like put an input out and see what you receive back, and then the analyze.
That's why they're so interested in the background scatter radiation. That's what they're monitoring your mind with, and your movement and other things. That's why the blockchain computations are so difficult to do, is because they're figuring out background scatter radiation.
Apparently, the only way to get into the blockchain is using a quantum computer. And there's like this one, the thing called Crown Sterling, and apparently they've like made like defenses against even a quantum computer to code the cryptography or whatever. What?
No, you can get.
I invested in this Crown Sterling thing, and I had to like sign an NDA.
Yeah, it's pretty hard right now to hack the human body. You have to get pretty close. That's where they store the blockchain. So you can't grab the signals out of the air through the transmissions because they have ways of going around.
Yeah, so they use some like type of cryptography that's not even hackable by quantum mechanics. Anyways, I invested into it, and like I said, I had to sign an NDA, so I couldn't, like, if I put up images of it or whatever, I have it all copied. But if I shared it with anybody, then apparently I'm liable to get sued.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they shared this information, but yeah, like, oh, you're not allowed to tell anyone about it. Fuck off. At least they show the like, whatever. I'm not gonna pretend I'm smart enough to even understand how it's working. So, yeah. I'm sure I could if I really took time and effort. Okay, well, sounds good to me on paper. You can't be hacked even with quantum computers. Let's go. It'll take millions of years for them to get into it. Apparently.
Cool.
Well, you never know though, because.
Yeah. Well, couldn't another quantum computer hack it? Isn't that kind of feel?
So I guess like how quantum computers operate is not binary, right? It's held in a superposition. And I think reality is almost like a quantum computer. Like everything is in superposition until observed, kind of thing.
I don't know exactly. Apparently, the creators of it don't know exactly how it works either.
Who knows, really? All right, I'll get back to the video quick.
For brainwaves.
So the system learns to associate specific brainwave patterns with specific thoughts or actions, like a kind of neural dictionary.
Exactly. The system would need to be trained on a substantial data set of EEG data correlated with known intentions. The more data, the more accurate the mapping becomes.
What are some of the major challenges in developing?
Yeah, I wonder where they got that down.
Sounds incredibly
Yeah, really. If anyone wants to join, the link is there, by the way, if you want to add to the discussion. I want to kind of keep it on like the trajectory we're going, like about stuff like this. So I'll drop the link again.
complex.
The biggest challenge is the inherent noise and variability in EEG data. Brain activity is incredibly complex, and isolating the signals relevant to communication is difficult. Individual differences in brain activity also pose a significant hurdle.
So calibrating the system for each individual user would be essential?
Absolutely. The system would likely require a significant calibration period for each user to establish a reliable mapping between their unique brain activity and intended communication.
Assuming the technology matures, what are some potential applications of this artificial telepathy system?
The most obvious application is assistive communication for individuals with severe motor impairments. Imagine someone who can't speak or type being able to communicate directly through their thoughts.
That's a power.
It's always about under the guise of medical and helping people, and they weaponize the shit out of it. It's something that can be used for good, can also be used for nefarious purposes, no matter what it may be. Yeah.
I'll show you how easy it is to get into the human body after this.
It'll be like a fucking remote control. Remote control is human.
Yep.
Robot must do this. Do not compute.
Powerful application. Are there other potential uses?
Beyond assistive communication, there are potential applications in gaming, human-computer interaction, and even potentially in fields like neuromarketing. However, ethical considerations would be paramount in these areas.
You mentioned ethical considerations. What are some of the potential ethical concerns surrounding this technology?
Privacy is a major concern. The ability to decode thoughts raises serious questions about the potential for misuse and surveillance.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. They said neuromarketing?
Yeah.
Like, imagine getting unskippable ads in your mind.
Part of bioeconomics, really.
You gotta fucking bioeconomics. You gotta like pay a premium version so you don't get fucking ads in your mind. Here's a
Yeah. We
need YouTube. We need Mine 2 Premium so you don't get ads.
They plan to monetize human activity, right?
It's fucking bizarre. What are your thoughts on actual telepathy, though? Obviously, I don't know. Like you do remote viewing and all that.
Telepathy,
endogenous.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, with the systems they have in place now, they've really limited that. But yeah, I think it's a lost art, really.
Yeah, because at Laurentian, when they did studies with like Ingo and them, they were able to block it completely by generating, like using solenoids to generate a specific magnetic field.
Yeah.
And actually, it blocked it out. So they can no longer like remote view or use like that mind-to-mind connection. So there's ways to turn it off. And they're saying if it could turn something completely off, it proves that it exists.
Yeah.
Like if that phenomenon is done by using a certain method, it's actually more helpful than trying to prove something. Yeah.
Yeah, it exists. I think it's a lost art.
I think it's natural.
Yeah.
Like I wonder, like cats and animals, they have some sort of communication. Like, are they communicating in a different way because they don't use words? I know it's body language and all that, but maybe they are naturally telepathic in a way.
My dad where I'm coming home. He comes to the store 5 minutes before I come home. It's not like he can see me or anything. He has no idea.
And it's not the same time every day, right? It's just random.
It's about the same time every day, but it's like he will wait until 5 minutes before I'm actually in the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
So there's some type of a connection there.
Oh, for sure. The guy came back the very next day.
Yeah.
What album should I put on? That one. That one. I don't know if you use. Do you have this StreamYard premium version of it?
No.
I never did either, but I use I have a bunch of accounts hooked up to it.
Yeah.
So what I do is I learn, okay, if you go, usually they offer you a free 7-day trial.
Yeah.
So if you take the 7-day trial and then you cancel it, they'll be like, oh, we'll give you another 30 days.
Yeah.
And then you cancel it again, so you don't get charged. So you can go from account to account, get 37 days.
Yeah, they eventually banned me.
What, for doing that shit?
Yeah. I'm banned from StreamYard.
That's why you use the Restream.io, whatever.
Yeah. I had to.
Luckily, I'm not banned yet, but I don't know. I've been using that, and yeah, I'm it's funny because a lot of these trials, right? All you gotta do is cancel it. Like, oh, you can come back. We'll give you another month for nothing. And okay, well, I'm not paying these people ever. Really, all it does is you can put your own logo on there, change the font, put a background. What else? Have 10 people on. I don't know. People don't join on the public for some reason. When I do the private stuff, it fills up.
Here's an image of graphene sensors, what they can do with graphene.
I'll put your thing on.
Particles. Nothing more.
Graphene-based sensors and health monitoring.
This is all the shit that they can monitor, inside and outside.
Interesting. Biochemical.
Yeah. So they can do muscle stimulation. They can, they can detect your gastrointestinal state, blood pressure, ECG. I don't know what ECOG is, but they can stimulate your neurons. That'll be fun. They can do an
Perfect.
electroencephalogram. EOG, I don't know what that is. Maybe Dominic does. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
ECOG meaning primarily refers to Eastern Cooperative Oncology Group Performance Status, a scale from 0 to 5, evaluating a cancer patient's ability to perform daily activities. I don't know if that's what it is.
I don't think so.
Oh, no, that's not it. ECOG, electrocardiography, a method in neurology that uses electrodes placed directly on the brain's surface and cortex. Purpose used by neurosurgeons to pinpoint seizure origins in patients with drug-resistant epilepsy, leading to surgical removal of the faulty brain area. ECOG. Okay. Electrocardiography. So instead of using electrodes directly placed on the brain, they can use this graphene thing.
Yeah, and they can have graphene sensors on the skin or inside you. These are inside you, invasive, so that would be inside the body.
Who comes up with this kind of shit? Seriously.
Is
it even humans?
Well, I don't know.
For real though.
But well, I think this technology has been around for a long time. They just learned to exploit it.
You think a human being came up with this, or?
I don't know. I think it's I think it's all based on the fasces.
Like ancient tech.
Yeah.
Coming back to.
Yep. I don't think it's anything new. It's just we learned how to make it smaller and use it. Well, I don't know if we use it for more than they did, but learned to use it in our own way, I guess.
Huh. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do with that. You know, just that's just from basically exciting the particle and having reading the scattered background radiation of stuff coming off of it. Unless they can do what's called keyhole technology, where they can map everything around it, the distance of everything.
Dominic's saying my cat and Max's cat came up with most of this. Dominic, why don't you get on the panel, man? Like, what the fuck are you over there typing for? Welcome back. The cats are behind it all. Why are they so revered and there's like mummy cats, mummified. Welcome back. What do we got here?
Watch this.
I'm in a box
2 minute video.
covered with a protective film for added.
Super Patch is the most advanced wearable technology.
I remember you telling me about
with
that.
15 plus years of research and development.
No, I think
Super
they used
patches are
something similar to
100%
this at the
drug-free,
Olympics and were
non-invasive, and
called
backed by
out for it.
science. Our skin
then there was
absorbs and
nothing that
transmits
came of it.
information from many different types of stimulation. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a
that one.
corresponding neural code or message in our brain that controls and regulates it. Due to factors such as injury, stress, genetics, etc., these neural codes can get disrupted, leading to poor health, wellness, and performance. At Super Patch, we've decoded these neural messages that manage the neural control of physical, emotional, and psychological functions. Every single Super Patch has a unique pattern of ridges in it, similar to a QR code. When these ridges come in contact with our skin, the receptors in and around our skin send a message to our brain, which then decodes it. This intricate pattern of ridges is known as vibrotactile technology, or VTT for short. When the patch stimulates the skin receptors, it generates and sends a very complex signal to our brain to correct the specific neural codes that may be disrupted. The effects are almost immediate. So you focus less on overcoming wellness and quality of life challenges and more on living a happier and healthier life. Whether it's improving your sleep, enhancing your sports performance, or unlocking other life-enhancing benefits, Super Patch has you covered. Try Super Patch today and start your health and wellness journey.
Pretty cool.
Dominic's saying the cat's lizard eyes give them away.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, how come they have eyes like a... Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, felines.
Don't goats have the kind of similar eyes too?
A goat?
Yeah.
I don't think so, do they? When was the last time I saw a goat? I don't know. I used to hand feed them. Yeah, you put the quarter in the machine, you get the hand feed the goat at the phone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just eats out of your palm, little goat.
Yeah, so that's going through your skin, like on your arm or something, to your brain. They're putting a device right on your head.
So it's something like transdermal stimulation, something like that.
Yeah.
Skin is the biggest organ in your body.
Yeah.
We'll get back to this.
There were also questions about consent and the potential for coercion.
And what about the potential for misinterpretation of brain signals?
Absolutely. The system's accuracy would be crucial. Misinterpreting brain signals could lead to serious consequences, particularly in medical or legal contexts.
Where do you see this technology heading in the future? What are the next steps in its development?
Further research is needed to improve the accuracy and robustness of the system. Developing more sophisticated algorithms and improving the quality of EEG data acquisition are key priorities. Addressing the ethical concerns will also be crucial for responsible development.
So it's still very much in the early stages of development?
Yes, it's a long-term research endeavor. While the patent outlines a promising concept, significant technological advancements are still needed before we see widespread practical applications.
How does this proposed system compare to other existing brain-computer interfaces?
Many BCIs rely on invasive methods, such as implanted electrodes. This system, as described in the patent, relies on non-invasive EEG, making it potentially less risky and more accessible. However, this also means it might be less precise than invasive methods.
So a trade-off between invasiveness and precision.
Exactly. The non-invasive nature offers advantages in terms of safety and accessibility.
Oh, you should look up turning your dreams into a movie. They can turn
I've seen that thing before.
Yeah, you can
I know what you're talking about.
Movie, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, this is almost done.
Accuracy and resolution.
The quality of the EEG data is crucial, as you mentioned. What are some of the challenges in acquiring and processing high-quality EEG data?
EEG signals are notoriously noisy. Artifacts from muscle movements, eye blinks, and even environmental factors can significantly interfere with the signal. Advanced signal processing techniques are essential to filter out this noise and isolate the relevant brain activity.
And what about the computational resources required for processing this data?
The computational demands are substantial. Analyzing large amounts of EEG data in real time requires significant processing power. Advances in machine learning and high-performance computing will be crucial for making this technology practical.
Machine learning seems to play a central role in this system. Can you elaborate on its importance?
Machine learning algorithms are essential for pattern recognition and the development of the neural dictionary. These algorithms learn to identify statistically significant patterns in the EEG data, associating them with specific thoughts or intentions. The more data the algorithms are trained on, the more accurate they become.
So it's a continuous learning process?
Yes, the system would likely be constantly learning and adapting as it receives more data from the user. This adaptive learning is crucial for improving the accuracy and reliability of the system over time.
Given the current state of technology, how soon do you think we might see a real-world application of this system?
It's difficult to say with certainty. Significant technological advancements are still needed to overcome the challenges related to data acquisition, processing, and the accuracy of the system. We're likely talking about a time frame of several years, if not decades.
So it's more of a long-term research goal than an imminent reality?
Precisely. While the concept is intriguing and the potential applications are significant, there are still substantial hurdles to overcome before this technology becomes a practical reality.
Some might be skeptical about the feasibility of this technology. How would you respond to such skepticism?
I understand the skepticism. The idea of artificial telepathy is certainly ambitious. However, the underlying principles are based on well-established scientific understanding of brain activity
It's
and
the data
signal
set
processing.
that they need.
While significant challenges remain,
They just need the data set, that's all. So, the rest,
There's
there's a million blockchain coins left to be mined. So
there's only a finite number, right?
Yeah.
It's not like money that you just print out. So
the progress in related fields like brain-computer interfaces suggests that this goal may be achievable in the future.
So it's a matter of continued research and development?
Exactly. It's a long-term research endeavor, but the potential benefits are significant enough to warrant continued investigation. In conclusion, while the path to artificial telepathy is long and challenging, the potential rewards are immense. Continued research and development in this area could revolutionize communication and human-computer interaction.
That was a great discussion. Thank you for your insights.
Yeah.
I gotta get to bed. That's pretty cool.
Matt, thanks for joining.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you, bro. We was mentioning about this dream thing. I think this is what he's talking about.
This device can record your dreams. How? I'm going to show you, and it will blow your mind because it is actually possible. This device will literally change the future of dreams and lucid dreaming. I'm going to start by explaining how dream recording works, the simple inventions that can do it today, and finally, the device that will change the world. And I bet all my V-Bucks on it. Watch until the end because it gets really interesting. This technology is insane. Just imagine sitting at the TV with your family and watching the dream you had last night. Alexa, replay last night's dream.
Okay, explore lucid dreaming. I now tell you dream. Okay, good luck.
Hello, we haven't been properly introduced before. I'm Michael, by the way. You must be Alice.
Yeah.
The only way for you or me to know what someone dreamt is to wake them up and ask them. But there are two problems with this. One, your memory sucks. Don't believe me? Name every dream you had. Ahaha, I'm just kidding. Just the one you had last night. You have proven my point. People can only remember very few details of dreams. No matter how hard you try, you will never fully recall the entire experience. If you're a lucid dreamer, it's easier because you are awake in your dreams, but let's be honest, there are always details you will forget. The second problem is, even if you could remember the whole dream, you don't have any visuals. You can't watch the dream like a movie and share it with friends. I have so many incredible dreams in this book because I write them down and I share them on YouTube. But at the end of the day, these dreams only exist in my mind. I am the only person in the world who can visualize what it looked and felt like. But that has changed. With today's technology, there are multiple ways dreams can already be recorded. The first way is to hook yourself up to an MRI scanner. Considering they cost up to $1 million, you probably can't do this at home. You have to go to Med Bay. Just make sure you aren't followed. Once you're in the scanner, simply fall asleep. It will detect when you are in a dream, and about halfway through, wake you up. Then you will be asked what you dreamt about while still hooked up to the machine. Based on brain scans, the machine will run a powerful algorithm which searches a database of millions of images and puts them together to best approximate what your dream looked like. This has been done hundreds of times in the past, so many times that real software has been created to do this automatically. And the crazy part is, those images actually match up with the dream, which is creepy but fascinating. But images are boring. No one likes pictures, so scientists created a software that uses video instead of images, which produces even more shocking results. When woken up, the dreamer watches about 2 hours of random movie footage. This causes certain areas of the brain to light up whenever a part in the movie is similar to the dream they just had. Using a very advanced algorithm and millions of short clips from YouTube, artificial intelligence is able to recreate the dream based on what areas of the brain lit up during certain parts of the movie. This is an example of somebody's dream recorded using this technique. This is currently the best modern approach we have to dream recording. And as the software is improved, the clearer these videos, or dreams, will become. But what if I told you there's an even better way to record dreams? But how? The answer is Elon Musk. More specifically, Neuralink. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a device that can read brain activity and process it on a computer. Unlike MRI scans, this information comes directly from the brain because it is in your brain, which means it's the most accurate way of recording information. It also doesn't cost $1 million, which is always nice. Neuralink today is very simple, and this is just a theory, but many speculate that if Neuralink was connected to the visual cortex, or somewhere we know dream images are located, we could record dreams in high resolution, as in you would actually see frame by frame the entire dream with no estimation. There are many roadblocks to this. Today, Neuralink can only read so much information, and that information still needs to be processed in a software that can decode it. But the information is there, which means that in theory, dream recording is entirely possible. We don't know why dreams occur, but we do know that they generate brainwaves. And if we can understand those, watching your dreams on TV could happen sooner than you think. In 100 years? No. 10 years? No. How about 5 years? Also no. This technology will be available in about 15 to 20 years. At least according to Reddit. But still, the fact that dream recording is possible is insane. We have all the technology to do it. It just needs to be developed. In the meantime, why not check out this video on what lucid dreaming looks like? I shot it myself with the knowledge I have of the dream world, and it's surprisingly accurate. If this video inspires you, there is another thing you can try tonight, which is of course learning to control your dreams. On my channel, I have tons of tutorials that will teach you exactly how to lucid dream. I give you all the steps, you just need to follow them, and you could control your dreams tonight. If you are interested in mastering this skill, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I also have a Discord server. It's full of lucid dreamers. It's the biggest one in the world. And if you ever need any help with this, join it. It's completely free and people there will help you out. One more thing, I have a second channel. You should definitely check it out because I have some...
All right, welcome back, Chris. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good, Cage. Pretty good. How about yourself? Yeah.
Doing well, buddy. Just we're looking into Max went to bed. It's late where we're at.
Who went to bed?
Max. There's just Max on here so far. We're looking into
Max.
like artificial telepathy and all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Pretty interesting.
It's like 2 a.m. for you, huh, Cage?
Yeah. We know we're live, by the way. This is actually like a public live. I'm gonna keep it up.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't usually do that, but whatever. So I think it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, sounds interesting. Recording dreams. Huh. Wow.
That, and we're getting into like the artificial, what do you call it? Telepathy. There's some company called Alter Ego. Let me show you. Let me go through it here. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, Alter Ego. This is a company here. It says interact at the speed of thought. So introducing Alter Ego, the first near telepathic interface designed to make technology as intuitive as using your inner voice.
Wow.
It says a breakthrough technology developed at MIT that connects it with AI through minimal non-invasive device using silent senses. So it understands what you intend to say without speaking, allowing you to extend your thinking without the need to type, tap, or talk out loud.
Well, it's kind of wow.
Yeah, I'll play their little demo.
They can use that for like evil purposes, Cage. You know, like
for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, anything that could be beneficial can also be weaponized, right? That way.
Pretty much, yeah.
They usually do it under the guise of like, oh, we're trying to help people, right? It's a medical, but then they roll it out in a way that could be used against the general population in nefarious ways. Huh? You at work?
Yeah, I'm at work.
I'll play this video quick. It's just like it's the one on their web page or whatever. So.
Hi, I'm Arnav, and today I want to share a preview of something we've been working on. We believe it's a revolutionary breakthrough with the potential to change the way we interact with our technology, with one another, and with the world around us. The current way of interacting with computing and AI is limited to how fast you can tap and swipe on screens and keyboards. For the intelligence age, we need an entirely new interface, built from the ground up, something that feels like a natural extension of the human mind. To realize this, we had to invent something completely new. And today, we're introducing it. It's called Alter Ego, which to us means extension of the self. Alter Ego gives you the power of telepathy, but only for the thoughts you want to share. With Alter Ego, you talk just like you normally would, but without making a sound, which unlocks private communication at the speed of thought. It works by passively detecting the subtlest signals your brain sends to your speech system when you decide to speak. It's entirely under your control and only picks up what you want to communicate. I'm actually wearing one right now. Let me show you how it works. So everything you're going to see behind me for this demo are the words Alter Ego can detect in real time. This is typically referred to as silent speech, but we've gone further. We invented a breakthrough technology we call Silent Sense. Silent Sense is incredibly sensitive. it can pick up the full spectrum of speech, allowing you to speak as loudly or as quietly as you want. So I'm going to turn this on. Let me show you how it works. Here, I'll show you again. Alter Ego has zero access to your thoughts. It only interprets signals from your speech system when you intend to talk. Now, the more interesting bit, what can we do with this?
I don't believe that.
We all have moments when inspiration strikes and you want to save an idea before it slips away. You can now capture those instantly without lifting a finger in places and situations that would be awkward or inconvenient, like on the train.
Would you be comfortable putting a robot on your head, Cage?
No.
Just gonna see if that synced. Oh yeah, awesome. Alter Ego understood what I wanted to say and synced the note directly on my phone. Or maybe you need an answer to a question right away without disconnecting from the world.
Why do we dream?
Dreams help process memory, regulate emotions, and spark creativity.
Again, Alter Ego was able to hear my question and respond almost like magic. But it's not just for getting answers. Alter Ego has tiny cameras built in and can make sense of the world around me from my perspective. I have a post-it note here, and I'll ask Alter Ego to help me fold it into a fox.
Okay, start by folding the paper in half diagonally. Then take the top point, fold it down diagonally to meet the middle point of the bottom edge. Next, fold the bottom points up to form the fox's ears. Are you ready for the next step? Yes, now just repeat that on the other side. You got it? Looks good. Now just finish up by drawing the fox's mouth and eyes on the flat side.
Terrible. Alter Ego allows me to stay engaged with tasks and more focused on what I'm learning, even when my hands are busy. Another cool thing about Alter Ego is that it can understand human gestures. Here, I have a postcard. And when I find something interesting, I can point to specific parts and ask questions about what I'm seeing.
That's Europa, who represents Europe shaking hands with America to celebrate the first transatlantic telegraph cable.
That's cool.
Okay, reminder is added to your notes app.
Awesome. For decades, we've adapted to computers. Now computers are adapting to us, helping us navigate the world more naturally. Alter Ego also connects seamlessly with the devices we use every day. It creates a private and silent channel with AI, which is perfect for when you're in a quiet office or a cafe, or just want to stay in your flow. Let me show you. Say I'm reading an article and I have questions about a concept. Instead of breaking my concentration to open a new tab and search, I can just highlight the text on the screen and silently ask. Awesome. It also helps you create. Here, I'm writing an email to my co-founder, Max. The sentence doesn't quite look right. But we can go even further, from writing to building. Let's ask Alter Ego to create a simple app from this sketch. And there it goes. Think about the normal workflow here. You have an idea, you switch to the keyboard, you try to translate that idea into the perfect text prompt, you hit enter, you wait. Here, there's no translation. There's no keyboard. It's a direct path from intent to creation, which lets you stay in that creative flow. We know speaking is about 4 times faster than typing. And this is what it looks like in practice. So the wireframe is generated. So you have the app here. This is great. Okay, let's make one tiny adjustment. All right. It's taking its time. Oh, great. Here we have the live sky. This is awesome. You can get so much done with Alter Ego, but I want to talk about how it changes communication. For this next demo, I'm going to need some help. Let's send a text to my co-founder, Max.
Messaging Max, can you help with this demo? Okay, sent.
Great. This is where it gets really interesting. Alter Ego works with your other devices, but it also works with other people wearing an Alter Ego. It feels almost telepathic. For this demo, you'll hear what we're hearing from our Alter Ego, but to the rest of the world, this would all happen silently between the two of us. Now, this is a little silly because we're sitting right in front of each other and we could just talk. But for a moment, let's imagine that Max is in another part of the world. Ready, Max? Let's do it.
How do you think the demo is going so far?
Pretty great. No major glitches yet.
Where do you want to get lunch after this?
Thai food could be good.
That sounds perfect.
It doesn't matter where Arnav and I are. It could be a noisy environment or a quiet office. Having a direct conversation is possible without saying a word. The signals Alter Ego detects aren't affected by environmental noise. So even if you're walking past a wind tunnel or a construction zone, what you want to say will always get across. It's like having infinite noise cancellation.
For our final demo, we want to address one of the most fundamental barriers to human language. Please welcome Scott, who leads machine learning at Alter Ego. If you're traveling, your silent speech can be converted into any language. So Scott, how's my Mandarin?
如果我来上海的话，希望你能带我转转。
मुझे आपको शंघाई दिखाने में खुशी होगी। मैं ऑल्टर ईगो की मदद से आपको हिंदी में एक यात्रा सुझाव दूंगा। आपको लाओ होंगसिंग के सूप डम्पलिंग जरूर ट्राई करने चाहिए।
Scott knows I like food. Thanks, Scott. Thanks. Language is a persistent barrier, but with the alter ego, that disappears, helping us understand each other and participate more fully in other cultures, almost as if the barrier was never there. There are millions of people with speech impairments who could use this to restore their voice and to reconnect with their loved ones. The world is a richer place when everyone is able to be part of the conversation. For all of human history, we've built tools to extend our abilities. A pair of glasses extends our vision beyond what our eyes can see. A bicycle extends our legs, carrying us farther than we could ever run. A pen extends our memory and expression, allowing our thoughts to outlive us. But we never perfected the tool and the interface to extend the human mind. Even now, we're building incredible AI, but always as something separate: agents, assistants, digital companions. When a tool is crafted with intention, it disappears. It becomes intimate. It stops feeling like technology and becomes an extension of us. Alter ego gives us that, a way to communicate at the speed of thought. We believe this is the beginning of that future, where technology is no longer an external box we carry, but a natural extension of who we are, where we augment human abilities and intelligence. A future where our tools don't pull us away from being human, but bring us closer to it. Thank you for being here with us today at the beginning of that future.
Thoughts on that? You there, Chris?
Yeah, that's some. I like the idea of that, but the problem is with something like this, mankind will always use it for evil, always guaranteed. So
That's the issue.
yeah, that's the issue.
Well, it's like the invention of a hammer, right? It's supposed to, put nails in things in order to build. But it could also be used to destroy. It's the same thing, really.
Yeah, same idea. Mm-hmm. Yep. I
Because
mean,
yeah. Like,
I don't feel comfortable putting a robot in my head, Cage. It's just.
It's not really a robot. It is kind of like it's like an android. It's like transhumanism or something.
Oh, okay.
Merging with. Well, a lot of people they think there's something called the singularity, when AI reaches like it can start like teaching itself, which is pretty much can already. But then it surpasses like human capabilities or whatever, and then like people think it's like inevitable and you must merge with it and adapt.
Yes, that's delusional, Cage. You shouldn't merge with AI or robot or whatever the singularity or what do you want to call it. I know singularity is a level that you mentioned. Yeah, this. Yeah, you weren't meant to be something beyond human.
This right here is interesting though. It says like your thoughts stay private. Alter ego only responds to intentional silent speech. Your private thoughts stay private, and you direct every interaction. That's full of shit. No way. If they can access that part, they can access every thought that you have. Then at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're lying. I don't believe them.
Just straight up lying, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, right. The fuck with. No, there's no way. I think that's the entire thing. Like they want to know everybody's thought. So they can like control them or sell them shit they don't need. I don't fucking.
It's funny how he trolls you, KG. He's trying to troll you, like he's saying, "Yeah, it reads the entire spectrum, but they can't hear your private thoughts.
Bullshit.
That's not part of the spectrum." Okay.
It's bullshit. Well, like what I was talking about before with Max and stuff, it's pretty easy to do. So what they do is they could use an EEG or an fMRI, and then have people think about every single thing, right? Like a letter, a vowel. You see the tree, the color red, blue, and then they record these brainwave activities. This is how it's happening. They record all these brainwave activities and mark them down as that, and
Right.
then pretty much use an algorithm to decipher it all. So it's just
Yeah, that's
like,
smart.
show people.
Yeah, just patterns, right? Pattern recognition. Gage.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like, it's like it's not that like crazy. Like, what they don't know is how do people do it like naturally, do it without anything like that has to read your fucking brainwave.
Oh
And will
yeah,
that not? And will this technology not work on certain people? Right? I guess maybe it works for the vast majority because somebody like play with it or like glitch it or whatever.
yeah. Hack it out like a biohacking or something.
Mm.
Maybe there's some type of device you can wear on your head or something that scrambles the signal somehow and makes it unreliable or unreadable or something.
I like the thing, like the internal dialogue. Like, what if I just like hit the system in my mind with like a million different things at once, and how is it going to determine anything?
Yeah, it's going to capture it, then it's going to parse through each all that information, and rebuild
It'll
and
be like
reconstruct
gibberish.
it.
It's like it'll be like spamming a keyboard with a bunch of random letters and numbers and symbols. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's jargon. It's garbage at that point. It doesn't mean anything if there's no pattern to it to reconstruct it. It's
Yeah,
just
it's like
painting a bunch of
randomly.
random stuff with no thought behind it. It's just garbage. It doesn't mean anything.
I can't believe they're claiming like we cannot read anything. Yeah, right. Besides what you're
Can't read
intentionally doing.
I can read what you're thinking, but I can't read your private thoughts. Oh, okay.
The guy here is back is saying I'll be up in a minute. All right, man. There's no panel is open.
Who's coming up in a minute?
Well, somebody here. I think it's Lonnie. I don't know. I forget or Phil.
Oh, Lonnie. Okay. Yeah, Lonnie. Yeah,
So
he's
you
got a
got
rough
this. I
man.
got
Like this guy. Oh yeah. Tricked millions of people. Okay. Trickster, huh?
Apply to you. You have a great need for other people to like and admire you. You have a tendency to be critical of yourself. You have a great deal of unused capacity which you have not turned to your advantage. Some of your aspirations tend to be pretty unrealistic. Security is one of your major goals in life. These are just 5 of the 13 statements that psychologist Bertram Forer presented to his psychology students in 1949. He told them that the list had been individually created for each of them and that they came from a diagnostic personality data bank called the Diagnostic Interest Blank. But this data bank didn't exist. It was fake. In truth, Forer came up with this list of 13 so-called personality traits by pulling them from a newsstand astrology book. That's right, they were randomly chosen, one from each horoscope sign. And every participant in the study received the exact same 13 items in what Forer termed a personality sketch. They were asked to rate the accuracy of each statement. In a test with 13 random statements, the law of averages suggests that participants would agree with about half of the statements, or 6.5 true statements for each participant. But that's not what happened here. The average result was closer to 11. Even more remarkable was the fact that all participants believed that this set of items was diagnostic, meaning that it was possible to learn something about themselves from this kind of sketch. They also believed that the tests had been reasonably accurate and their personalities had in fact been revealed. Except
So this is like, you know, personality tests or astrology, horoscopes, fucking tarot cards and everything. It's specifically designed to be curated to any individual. It's a sense of feeling special. And
Yeah, so it's just like general and telling people what they want to hear.
pretty much. Or what they don't want to hear, even though they don't want it, but they have to hear it. I don't know. It's very easy to fucking it's a form of manipulation. We'll get into it.
Distracted. As I mentioned, the set of items was not a diagnostic test, nor was it a personality test. So what led participants to believe the results so strongly? Well, it's related to their level of gullibility, being too willing to trust others or be persuaded to believe that something is true. And also because of a psychological concept called self-validation. This is a mental operation that we all rely on to recognize or validate our self-worth. It includes accepting things about our internal experience, like our thoughts and feelings, rather than external experience. Self-validation is one way we justify we matter and the things we do matter. All human beings have biased minds. So any justification or validation that comes from our own minds should be considered a tad suspect. It's an innate part of how our brains work, but when the forces of self-validation and gullibility combine, you get the bias we'll be discussing in this lecture. Forer's work in the field has led some researchers to call this bias the Forer effect. Other researchers call it the Barnum effect. Yep, that Barnum, P.T. Barnum, the circus promoter and showman. He's famous for saying, "There's a sucker born every minute." And though there's no evidence he ever said it, it's often attributed to him. Psychologist Paul Meehl coined this bias the Barnum effect because it appears when we hear a statement that could be true of anyone. Let's look at one of the items from Forer's experiment.
Pause it there. Oh yeah, you know, people are easily manipulated, and some people, they claim they don't want to be, but really truly do. It's pretty messed up.
The way a tool in fighting that is always seek evidence on something. You know, something may sound nice or great or whatever, but you always have to verify it with evidence. Try to back it up, even if you don't want to or feel like it. You know, you should try to do that at least as much as possible. And that's a good way to combat that.
Oh yeah, you know, don't just take anything for face value. Nothing is as it seems usually. So you gotta do your own due diligence to look into it. It's not that difficult to do either. I don't even know why. Like, it's that easy to fucking manipulate people. You know, like, and some people make a career out of it.
I mean, you have to just it's a discipline to protect, to vanguard against that. You know, you have to just develop a mindset that says, you know, I'm going to start questioning things, like, you know, just like make it like a habit of starting to question things. Like don't put somebody down for what they tell you, because they might be right, but on the same token, you know, look into it if you're not sure, because somebody could be telling you something that's correct and everybody thinks that they're like lying or
Well, in their
possibly
mind too.
couldn't be
Some
true.
people do believe things that are incorrect, and not because they're lying, because that's what they truly believe from their interpretation, right?
Right.
Subjectively.
Exactly.
And it goes both ways there.
So you should never put somebody down if they tell you something, you know, that sounds crazy, or that's a conspiracy theory. Have you looked into it, what they're saying, whether it's correct or not? How do you know? You sound
Yeah,
foolish
unless
if
you've done your own
you say that.
research and like, you've proven it. Again, I think that can also be manipulated.
Right, that's why you don't accept something about verification.
And not just once. It should be done time and time again to completely verify, like a repeatable pattern, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly, yeah, scientific method, right?
In a way. We got Pools in here. What's up, Pools, buddy? One. I'm reading it. You know, it is live. Okay, it's not like a pre-recording. Maybe he thought this is like a pre. Some people do pre-record stuff and then put it live. No. One.
You know, it's just like somebody says, "Oh, I saw a UFO," and then my person might say, "Oh, you're crazy." Okay. and you know this how? You know.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm gonna get back to the video. I'm in the other room, watching the grass grow. You got. Let's see. Let's see.
You have a great need for other people to like and admire you. This seems broad. Of course, most people want to be liked and admired. It's vague, and that's the point. How do you get a single statement to apply to as many people as possible? You make it so vague that everyone says to themselves, "Oh yeah, that sounds like me." These statements are referred to as Barnum statements because Barnum knew how to draw crowds to his shows by using broad and generalizable statements that people would interpret in their own way. And this led them to participate in and pay for whatever show or product he was promoting. And this is where the idea of self-validation comes in. Perhaps the fake diagnostic personality test you got a peek of was just self-validating. It indicated aspects of your personality, didn't it? And when you're validated in this way, it may give you a small boost to your self-esteem. And it's natural to want to feel good about yourself. However, this bias and the effects of self-validation from positively worded statements like the one I just shared can combine, and that gets us into trouble. Fortune tellers, astrologers, and mediums often try to make money by simply telling you Barnum statements and hoping you'll agree that they apply to you. They'll likely use those same statements on the client who comes in after you. Okay, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Maybe you went to a fortune teller as a dare or as a goof. Maybe you found it entertaining and you were happy to pay for the fun of the experience. No harm, no foul. But what if I told you that this psychic services industry is a $2 billion one in the US alone? That seems like a lot of money for self-validation or dares. The monetary stakes can be high. Elizabeth Holmes received millions of dollars in startup capital for the health technology company Theranos. She stated that her new technology could revolutionize blood testing with a single finger prick. Here's what she said, and see if you can spot the vagueness. We've created these little tiny tubes, which we call the nanotainers, which are designed to replace the big traditional tubes that come from your arm, and instead allow for all the testing to be done from a tiny drop from a finger. There are a couple of Barnum statements ideas present in that quote. First, what exactly are nanotainers? It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just putting the word quantum in front of anything to make it sound really cool. I imagine these small tubes aren't actually nano-sized. Another Barnum aspect to this quote includes the tiny drop from a finger. It's vague. How does all this information come from a tiny drop of blood? And in the end, it was discovered that there was very little truth to her claims, and she was indicted in 2018 for defrauding investors because the blood tests were found to be problematic and unable to perform what was promised to those investors. Ultimately, she was found guilty of this fraud on January 4th, 2022. One of the major cases prosecutors made against her was that she specifically targeted powerful donors, like former high-ranking government officials and retail executives. Barnum's statements can be used to swindle folks out of money, but they can also be used to gain power, status, favors, or prestige. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle got married in 2018, an American named Thomas Muscatello convinced several news outlets he was a son of Kent, England, and a British royal expert. He even appeared on the broadcast of their wedding. Muscatello threw on a stereotypical British accent, spoke about riding horses in the Kent countryside, and asked an elderly couple to pose as his grandparents. Even his fake last name, Mace Archer Mills, is an amalgamation of names that seem generally British. Shortly after his appearances on the wedding broadcasts, the Wall Street Journal completed a background investigation of Mr. Muscatello, determining that his actual past didn't align with his stated past. He has since retreated from public life. How do people like Holmes and Muscatello manage to fool so many people for so long? Psychologist Ray Hyman defines some of the techniques that con artists and hucksters rely on to get you to do what they want. Compliance, perhaps without even realizing it's happening. The first thing con artists have is an air of confidence. All they have to do is believe what they're doing is real, and people will trust and believe them. Next, they'll use charts and figures to make you think that whatever they're pitching is more reputable than you might think. They might also employ some sort of gimmick. For example, a financial con man might tell you that they use a proprietary algorithm to figure out how to invest your money. A psychic might read your palm or use a crystal ball. They'll even make sure to know what you're wearing and reference that in their shtick, such as commenting on a woman's earrings or a man's suit. Anything to make you feel like the most important person in the world at that moment. Finally, to achieve that importance, they'll use flattery. This is one of the older social influence tricks. I'm sorry to say this, but if someone is flattering you, you might want to think twice about whether they want something from you or not. Con artists need you to actively go along with their schemes, so flattery is a perfect technique. All the rest of the stuff I mentioned is extra flair because flattery gets your foot in the door most of the time. But all of that is, like I said, meant to make you feel important, validated. Of course, you might think you're important, and so this con artist or huckster is attempting to highlight that by validating you. Oops, there's that word again. You might think, I'll never get duped. But these biases and effects are extremely common and often far more subtle than the examples I've shared so far. Several replications of Forer's experiment have yielded similar results. There was even a replication where the items I mentioned at the top of this lecture were changed to fit organizations rather than individuals. So instead of you have a great need for other people to like and admire you, it was your company has a great need to develop positive brand awareness. Participants in this study were leaders of companies, over 800 of them, each answering for their own company. And they showed the same bias that Forer found in his students. That is, these company leaders, the participants, anthropomorphized, gave human qualities to their companies while evaluating the sketch, and they agreed with that sketch overwhelmingly. In other words, the participants made their companies human-like in their own minds and without prompting. And so the personality sketch seems just like a person. The results are similar then to what Forer found decades before.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. You can watch that second one as well. Marvel Fall for Cons. Or do you have something else in mind?
I have more. Like, we're getting kind of off topic with the artificial AI, but yeah, I could do that one. Yeah, I have a few different things lined up here. Lonnie, I know Lonnie. There's said to be a link to a random channel that says "For You, Carmen and Lonnie Talk." I don't know who this person is. Persecutionrises.com. What is this? It doesn't even load. It doesn't load. It leads to nothing. All right. What about this one? Keys to the Kingdom of Heaven.com. This site does not support a secure connection. Yeah, this is some sketchy ass shit, bud. If you're in the intelligence industry, we should chat sometime. A smiley, laughing emoji. I've been known to be like a garden planted by a riverbed. All right, Lonnie. I don't know. It's kind of random and off topic. Goddamn.
If we're all exposed to Barnum's statements so often, why do they keep working time after time? Credibility is huge. I mentioned Tommy Muscatello having significant credibility with the British royals, even though he wasn't British and hadn't devoted his life to studying the royals. But people believed him. Credibility gives us a reason to trust the huckster or con artist. If we believe what they're selling, we're more likely to give them our money. That's why so many people invested in Bernie Madoff's huge Ponzi scheme. He was a successful Wall Street financier and had just enough people vouch for his prowess as an investor. It's the exact same reason people called Miss Cleo in the 1990s a fortune teller and self-described Jamaican shaman. Her advertisements showed testimonials. Always beware of testimonials. Of people who were blown away by her predictions. You see that sort of thing enough and you start to believe it yourself. However, if you decided to call her, you ended up talking to somebody else on a phone service called the Psychic Readers Network. You may have even spoken to a non-psychic with a script full of Barnum statements. The issue here isn't really whether Cleo's predictions were wrong or right. I mean, with Barnum statements, you're bound to be right sometimes. It's the persona and bait and switch of the whole setup that's the problem. It's the Wizard of Oz moment, figuring out that there's not a great and powerful entity, but rather a sad man behind the curtain. It turns out Miss Cleo was born in Los Angeles, not Jamaica, and had a background in theater, not any sort of mystic arts, and she definitely wasn't a psychic. Unfortunately, people didn't get to see behind the curtain until the Federal Trade Commission filed a complaint against the Psychic Readers Network. They contended that the company offered viewers a free reading and then charged them for it. The company was also charged with bullying customers into paying fees they weren't legally obligated to pay. In the end, the Psychic Readers Network paid $5 million in fines to the FTC and agreed to waive $500 million in outstanding customer charges. Another reason we get duped by this bias is that we love hearing about our positive traits, but we often don't like to admit that we even have negative traits. I certainly don't have any negative traits. Anyways, when people are asked to rate how well positive versus negative personality traits apply to them, they will accept the positive traits but reject the negative ones. This might be nothing more than self-serving. We like the positive and reject the negative. However, I contend that it's more than that, because I argue that these positive trait statements are merely a disguise for flattery. And we all know where flattery leads. One last way we're influenced by this bias is if the message is personalized to us. Remember in the movie Big, Tom Hanks's character's younger self is depressed about being a young boy at the carnival, and in that exact moment, Zoltar appears? It's almost like the mystical force knew exactly what that little boy needed at that moment. It was personal. He was the only person Zoltar wanted at that moment and made the boy his mark. Overall, if your horoscope book includes your name, you're more inclined to believe what it is saying. There are horoscope apps that include your name in daily readouts. It's a small hook to make you feel like the most important person in the world in that moment. The reverse can also be true. Using the wrong personalization can undo everything. The science fiction sitcom Futurama uses this truth to great comic effect. In one episode, the robot character Bender is missing, and the other characters seek the assistance of a robot medium, in the style of the aforementioned Zoltar, to speak to the missing Bender. The medium uses the name Bonder when acting as though she has embodied the ghost of Bender. The character of Fry immediately questions her credibility and calls her a fraud because she said the wrong name. The punchline from the robot medium is telling. Look, you want false hope or not? Personalization is a powerful tool for those exploiting this bias, but it can quickly become a liability if used incorrectly. I've talked a lot in this lecture about the basic qualities of this bias, the bias of being duped. It seems pretty simple, but is it universal? In other words, do all humans have this bias, or is it a product of only certain cultures? Do we get duped and conned, as some have hypothesized, due to a particular Western brand of individualistic egotism? In 2009, researchers Paul Rogers and Janice Sewell used Barnum statements to ask both American and Chinese participants the same kinds of questions we've talked about in this lecture. China and many other East Asian countries have a different overall culture than Western countries like the US. China is more collectivistic. People from these countries are more likely to view the group and society as more important than their individual selves. They're more interdependent than independent, as Americans tend to be. Because of the differences between the two cultures, researchers expected to see that the Chinese participants wouldn't fall for the Barnum statements in the same way that Americans did. Rogers and Sewell were surprised that the Chinese participants were just as likely to rate the Barnum statements as attributable to themselves. And just like the Americans, Chinese participants agreed with the Barnum statements at the same higher than average rate that we discussed at the beginning of this lecture. The researchers concluded that there aren't cross-cultural differences. In other words, it seemed to them that humans have a basic susceptibility to being duped. The bias is seemingly ingrained in our thinking. So what do we do? How do we avoid getting conned? Knowing how Barnum's statements work is half the battle. In my social psychology class, I talk extensively about social influence, things like persuasion, conformity, obedience, and yep, you guessed it, compliance. My students definitely enjoy the compliance lecture the best. We talk about the techniques they can use to get what they want. One of those techniques is flattery. Students discover that they've probably been employing that strategy for years, but now I've named it as part of a psychological concept. Their minds are blown. Along with other techniques like complaining or reciprocation, they now have an arsenal to get what they want from the people in their lives. Sometimes these techniques will work. Sometimes they won't. For any number of reasons, because humans are complex. But I tell them to be careful, because these same techniques can also be used against them. The other thing I tell my students to do is practice using these techniques. Be deliberate, but perhaps not obvious. The more you practice, the better you become at it. How do you think con artists get so good enough to swindle old ladies out of their wealth? The better you get at getting compliance, the better you'll become at spotting its use against you. Other aspects of social influence go into this mix too. You'll have to be wary about conformity. In Dr. Seuss's book, The Sneetches, a huckster approaches the non-star belly Sneetches with a machine that puts a star on their belly so they'll be more like the happy and content star belly Sneetches. Early in the story, these non-star belly Sneetches express a desire to live like the star belly Sneetches. And so, this con man approaches the non-star belly Sneetches with dreams to be just like those star belly Sneetches. They get the chance to look like the happy and content Sneetches. And once one non-star belly Sneetch pays the fee and goes through the machine, the next one does, and so on. Well, if everyone's doing it, it might seem like that's the only option to achieve happiness. The star belly Sneetches don't like this development. They express anger and frustration that they're no longer special among Sneetches. Eventually, the huckster doubles his money by developing a machine to remove the stars from the bellies of the previously star-bellied Sneetches. The huckster fooled both groups by using their own psychology against them, and he made a lot of money until all the Sneetches banded together to put a stop to him. The desire to conform and the Forer effect are dangerous because you might think it's your only option to agree with the huckster's pitch. Everybody is doing it, so why should I be different? Astrologers, fortune tellers, and other psychic practitioners are usually looking for one thing only: your money. It might be easy to say, I'm not that gullible, and you might not be that gullible. But just know that the Barnum-Forer effect weasels its way into the simplest of decisions. You could even say it might actually be the oldest trick in the book. Look, we all want to feel validated. I want to be validated in my thoughts and behaviors too. Beware that feeling if someone else is asking you to self-validate. That's subtly different from that person validating you directly. They get you by flattery. Then you get the self-validation from whatever they say next. Tell me, which of these statements
This guy's on point. I've never seen this fucking channel before. I'm subscribe to it. Interesting.
Yeah, it seems pretty solid.
Giving up the game. Have you seen these things being used against you, Chris, or no?
I have, yeah. I have. I've caught some of it before, yeah.
Have you used it on other people?
Not knowingly, no. I try not to manipulate people. No.
Not intentionally.
Not intentionally, no.
But looking back, though, have you used some of these tactics and stuff before without knowing? Now you look back at it.
Yeah, maybe if it was like a kid, playing my parents against each other to get something, Like one is like